Okay, here we are, minus Ryan. I kept waiting for him to pop in during the intro, but I guess he's not around tonight. So be me and Mr. Paul, I guess. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Can't complain. Can't complain. What you got going on? Anything?
Well, I got my project done, completed for the Ranger CNC challenge.
Yeah.
And it is I don't know if you can see the light in it, but it's a light box. Merry Christmas. And it is battery powered.
Okay.
And
All
a
right.
valuable lesson I learned is that battery powered LEDs are not as bright as powered LED, regular powered LEDs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess it is what it is, and that's the way it's going to be, but I'm not changing it. I'll just put more batteries in.
Yeah. All right.
All I got to do now, I've got to finish my, I have my video done. I just have to do the voiceover, and then I can get that uploaded to Ryan's channel.
Okay. Cool. Good deal. Good deal. Well, I have been I've been playing around with some laser beams here lately. I sold my Home Tech laser, and back when I had it, I made a whole bunch of stuff, but I made one of these guys right here. And these are always fun to make. I also made a Grinch as well as some other characters. I never really made a Santa Claus. I need to find a good file for a Santa Claus or make myself one. But anyway, since I don't have the Home Tech anymore, which had that 24 by 35-inch bed, and of course I always used to use and still do the little I don't know what you call it. It's the quarter inch and the eighth inch, I guess, or 5/32 or whatever they call it from Home Depot, and you buy it or you get online and order it, and then it's drop shipped to your house. Uh, and I usually get it in a couple of days. I buy the little Pure Bond box. I got a box of it there that I just opened back there. I can show if anybody wants to see it. But anyway, they come 12 by 19 inches, and of course that would fit any which way I wanted to put it in the Home Tech, but I wasn't sure how it would do with this Creality Falcon 2 Pro, which is now the main laser I have. So, and what's nice, I can bring it in here. I've got just a piece of plywood with a hole cut in it for a 4-inch hose, and I just raise the window up, stick it in the window, and bring the window down, and shoot all the stinky fumes outside. So it works out pretty good. But I got to playing around. I thought, well, I wonder. This is not the one I made with the Home Tech, by the way. This is one I just ran yesterday and finished painting and gluing it up. Uh, really, not all that long ago. but but yeah, the other two I gave away, and then I thought, well, I guess I should see if I can get this thing, to make something like this. So I still had the file, but of course I found out that you can stick a 12 by 19 blank in that machine, but the cutting area of that machine is 400 millimeters by 415 millimeters. So 415 millimeters is about 16 and 5/16, give or something like that. So even though you can fit the blank in there really turned either direction, you can't cut it all. So I thought, well, I'm going to try to make one of these, and if it won't fit, I'll just try to scale it down and do whatever I have to do and just try it and see if it'll work with that machine back there. Well, as it turns out, old Frosty here, when because when I used to do them with the OnTech, I would just use that 12 by 19 sheet, and then I would just scale them up until I could just fit them in there and get them as big as I could possibly get them. Well, old Frosty's kind of fat, so if you go like from here to here, by the time you start getting close to 12 inches, you're still under 16 inches on the height. So I was actually able to run the same file for Frosty that I ran with the OnTech. Obviously, changing some cut settings and power settings and stuff like that. So the next one I wanted to do, and I thought, well, I'll just instead of me just doing them, we'll just do it during the show here. What the heck? And because I do want to talk about a few things on this machine. I really hadn't used this machine that much. When they sent it to me, and I think it's probably been, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago. I did a couple of videos on it and did some tests and, all that stuff to make the video for it. But then since then, I kind of didn't use it because I always had the own tech out there for, uh, to run whatever I wanted to run. So anyway, I thought I would try to run another Grinch. Um, and the problem with the Grinch is he's much taller than old Frosty is. He's probably skinnier too, I guess, the way it is. Um, but I've scaled it down so that he'll fit. I think I've got him, I don't know, 15 and a half inches or 15 inches tall or something like that. He fits in the blank anyway. But I'm going to try to run that. And just for the sake of time, I've already ran the backer part, which is the main outline. I've already done it. I haven't pulled it out there yet because when I go to pull it out, I want to show you a couple of things. So I won't say it's bad stuff. It's just things that if you're looking at getting one of those, which by the way, that's one thing I want to talk about is these things have really come down in price well, I guess they're still listed on Amazon. They're saying the retail price is like, I think, $12.99, which is what it was when that one was sent to me. But you can go on Amazon right now, and I have a link down below in case anybody wants to go check it out. Uh, but they're like $7.99 on sale right now, which is for what it is. Now, this is the one with the 22 watt. They also have one with a 40 and a 60 watt. But the 22 watt is what they've sent me, and it works fine at cutting, all the thicker stuff that I want to cut. When I say thick, I'm talking, you know, quarter inch or 6 millimeter plywood or whatever. But anyway, so I've already cut the backer part, and I'm going to pull it out of there. Then I'll talk about one of the things that I'm not crazy about that machine, but it's really the only thing I don't like. Pretty much everything else, it works really well. And of course, it's Lightburn compatible, so I'm using Lightburn to just shoot it right back there.
Now I have the same machine, except mine is the open frame one, and then I bought the enclosure for it, the fabric fire resistant enclosure, and
Okay.
mine is the 22 or 40. You can switch between the two.
Okay. Okay.
But
Yeah.
basically it's the same machine without the enclosure.
Yeah. Now, see, mine's just the 22. Mine doesn't have it where you can switch between one or the other. It's just the 22 watt. But like I said, I found that because really all I ever used that OMTech for was cutting. I call it quarter-inch plywood. It's never actually quarter inch. It's usually like point 0.2 or closer really to 6 millimeters or even under that. Really more like 5 millimeters a lot of times. And that's to make boxes and different things. That's what I always used it for. So really, the 22 watt diode on this one works well for what I want to use it for. So and Jerry's throwing a thing in there. You okay? I have a I don't know if he grabbed that link from down below or not. I hope he did. But anyway, so we're going to pull that out, and before we get started on that, let's let Mr. Ryan talk a little bit since he snuck in here. Ryan, you got anything?
My dog is so picky. She is a little prissy puppy. She had
Oh,
to. I was late because um, she won't eat just kibble. She has to have some wet food on top of it to eat it, or she needs to have something else on top of it. And of course, I'm out of canned food, so I gave her some. I put some rice on top of it, and she used to eat that all the time. She won't touch it, so she hadn't eaten all day. She didn't eat tonight either. But then, so I had to cook up some ground turkey so I could sprinkle a little bit of ground turkey on top of her food so she'd eat it. So fun times. Yeah.
okay. Well, yeah, dogs could be. I'm actually a little bit concerned about old Jack because he hasn't been eating well lately, and I found little throw up messes here and there.
Mm.
Not a lot, but just like he chokes or something, and next thing you know, something that hadn't digested yet comes up. So uh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get him looked at, I guess, if he keeps that up.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. Well, let me. I guess y'all will still be able to hear me. I'll just talk loud or whatever,
Yeah.
or Ryan and Paul can converse while I've got a camera set up back here, but I don't know how much. Oh, let's do this, and we'll get this,
Ooh.
and then we'll do something. I don't know, something like that. Can y'all see the? Oh no, I don't have the right one, do I?
There you go.
Yeah, Ryan's screen
I would.
went to a green blob when I did that. So, all right, I don't know. You can see I've already cut the backer plate, and I'll try to do this without banging into the camera here.
Ooh.
But
Nifty.
I'll show you a couple of things. I guess really one main thing I don't like. Now the backer plate, I'm cutting this out of the thinner material since it is just the backer piece. I hope it cut all the way through here. Yeah, it looks like it did. Yeah, it's all coming out. But this stuff, the problem with, there we go. The problem with cutting the thinner stuff, and I don't know if you can see that, this stuff is just twisted and bowed and every kind of way, which means you have to try to get it flat some kind of way. Well, therein lies the problem with the Creality uh, Falcon 2 Pro. And I'm going to pull this out of here. If you can see, I think that I've got a. Can y'all hear me okay? I guess I'm
Yep.
talking. You can.
Yep. We can hear
Yep.
you.
Yep,
Uh,
you're good.
In fact, I can guess from experience what your main dislike is about that.
well, you probably know, but
Yep.
you can see I have a honeycomb thing in here. Now, this does not. The Falcon 2 Pro did not come with a honeycomb. In fact, if I hold this up, I think y'all can see that. That's from an algo laser that was sent to me. But I'm glad I held on to that because, as Paul is probably getting ready to talk about, these things here suck. And here's what sucks about them. If they were steel, they would be fine. But they're an aluminum extrusion, which means when you got material that's all twisted and bowed and stuff, you cannot hold it down with a magnet because it will not do it. Now, what I did, I'm gonna back this camera
Nope,
off.
that's not the complaint I have with mine because I don't have those. Mine came with a honeycomb. The biggest problem I have with mine is that laser head sits so close to the wood that you have a hard time finding anything to hold the wood down with. And if there's any kind of a bow in the wood, it drags on the laser.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right because the little shield, it's right down there, close.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, I got to looking online yesterday or maybe the day before, and I found on I don't even remember where I found it now. Maker World might have been Thingiverse, but I found these the gray things. I modified the blue piece, but they are where you can slide this on here
Oh,
like
that's neat.
like so. And then I'm trying to hold this to where you can see. Okay, then I made some larger ones here because I had the problem was, let's see, here's one of the original ones. You can see it's not very big. And the problem was the only screws I had, you press a nut right in there. The only screws I had were so long that by the time you tighten them up, now the screw was sticking out here. So then when you go to pull this drawer out, it would hit on the bottom of that screw. And I didn't like that. So I made some thicker blue ones that would take up the length of the screw. And I thought, well, that's going to work. But the problem is the material was so bowed that even when you put it on here and you tried to clamp it down, it would raise these up out of the thing because there's nothing to lock them in. They just set in there. So
Man.
I would have loved it if they'd have just put some steel slats in there as opposed to these aluminum extrusions. Now I get why they're doing aluminum is because they're shipping these from China, so the lighter they can make stuff, the better. And these things are made where you can stick them in like that with the point up, or you can turn them in that way, or you can even skip a space and lay them across there like that if you want to. But there's just no way to hold the stuff down. So that's why you see the honeycomb bed. Let me see if I can get these stuck back in here.
Yeah, your honeycomb bed is steel then?
Uh, I think it is, but I'm not using magnets. I'm going to show you what I'm.
Oh, okay.
I can hold my mouth right and get this thing in here. Okay, I guess I'm finding the right hole. Okay, that's close enough. Okay, well, what I'm using, uh, I've got a bunch of these things, and these are like those little plastic,
Christmas trees.
like like the things you use for push panels in on cars and golf carts and stuff. Well, as it turns out, those things work great. You push them in there, and they hold the material down pretty good. Not perfect, but they do a pretty good job. And I've got like, I don't know, 4 or 5 of these. But anyway, I had to break out the old Algo laser. Let's see if I got it. Yeah, I got a magnet in here. Let's see if this is steel. Yeah, it is. So, but I don't like to use the magnets because, like Paul said, it's real easy to run the head into something if you're not careful. Don't ask me how I know that. But anyway, I just kind of carefully put this in here and kind of eyeball it to see if I've got it, even on the sides and kind of line it up with one of those in the front. And now I'll take at least the thicker material I have. It's been in the box. It's got a little twist to it, but not too bad, I don't think. So let's see if I can figure out how to get this in here. I'm gonna need my glasses so I can read the numbers on that thing. I'll try to get it close to the same spot. Yeah, that's I'm gonna have to use a couple of those things. Push one back here, and maybe one of these others up here. Okay. Now let me raise that thing up just a tad, because oh no, actually I have to lower it just a little bit for the thicker material. So all right, now this thing's been sitting idle for a while. Let's see if it was still frame. This is the like I said, the backer thing for Mr. Grinch. And he's quite a bit, probably a couple of inches taller than old Frosty. All right, let me see if I can get you a view that's worth looking at here. And we'll see if we can frame this. Okay, so before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and turn that other fan on. The Falcon 2 Pro does have a fan. Um, Let me point to it. It does have a fan right in here, and you can see I've got a 3D printed a thing for a, I think that's a 4-inch hose. And then over here, I've got an inline fan, and then it goes out to the window. So I didn't bother taking that one out or turning it off. I just left it on there, but you can see that one's cut off automatically now, but the inline fan is still running. And it's not too awful loud. All right, let's I think I've got this all ready to go. Let me just double check some stuff. I guess I could this is what I'm going to be doing right here. I guess y'all can see that. But it should take, according to this, about 18 and a half minutes or so to cut that out. So probably a little longer than the Ohm Tech would do it, but we'll see how this thing comes out. All righty.
Fired up.
Let's get her back on this one, and we'll see what it's going to do. Did I just lose the camera?
Yep. It's there it is.
Yeah, my other camera just quit. Well, it's still working down below. So we'll leave it on this one and see what happens. Oh, okay. I know what it is. Because I stopped sharing it. It used that other thing.
Now, what kind of numbers are you using to cut that?
Well, when I did the first piece, like I said, I ran it out of the thinner material. And I've got my calipers right here. So let me just tell you what it was measuring. It was measuring just over an 1/8 inch, about 0.132. And for that, I was using 100% power and 550 millimeters per minute.
Okay.
So whatever that is in inches, I don't know. And that is pretty much off of the settings that I found, because it'd been so long since I'd run this. I thought, I don't even know where to start. So I found some settings and then did a cut and paste and put them in a spreadsheet. So for 3 millimeter material, it said 600 millimeters per minute and 100% power. So I thought, well, I'm going to slow it down just a little. So I went with 550 because this is a little bit thicker than 3 millimeters. And then for what I'm running now, I'm using what they call their 1/4 inch material, but it's miking about 0.210. So it's under, it's even under 6 millimeter for that matter. But I'm using 350 millimeters per minute with 100% power on it.
Okay.
And it worked fine when I did Frosty, so no guarantees with Mr. Grinch, but we'll see.
Sweet.
Now, does that sound loud to y'all?
No,
No,
I don't hear anything.
not at all. Hey, Ryan, just to put your mind at ease, I know I told you I'd have my video up Sunday or Monday, but all I got to do is I got the video done. All I got to do is the voiceover, but my wife hasn't been doing real good, so I haven't had a chance to get it done,
Yeah.
but I will get it done.
Oh, it's all right, buddy. Wife is more important. I've done a really good job of pissing my wife off recently, so
Uh
I
oh.
know I noticed a couple people in the chat tonight said they were working on somebody had a video to do yet, and somebody else was just finishing up their project, I think,
cool. I'll have a regular video coming out tomorrow. Um,
about the challenge.
no, just in
Oh,
general.
general.
Yeah, but yeah, it's Christmas themed.
Yeah, Kenneth says I use strong magnets usually to pull the bowed material down. Just have to make sure the laser head doesn't get close. Yeah. With the Grinch here, like this piece of material is 12 inches wide, and I'm not trying to save material, so I put the Grinch right dead in the middle of it. So there's plenty of room on both sides. It's not anywhere close to those little things, but those little push in things, they're really not sticking up much more than the material.
I'll have to I'll have to try some of those. Usually, what I do is I take that 2 inch wide aluminum tape and I take strips of that and catch just the edge of the wood, maybe a eighth or so, eighth or 3/16 of the wood, and then I have the rest of the tape on the honeycomb, and that'll hold it down pretty good.
Yeah. Well, let me take a. I can watch it here on the camera, but I can't really tell if it's. Oh yeah, it looks like it's dropping down through there. Nothing's caught on fire yet, so looks like we're all
Do
good.
another episode.
I don't know if y'all saw it. I do have my little fire extinguisher right here.
There you go.
That little fan they put on the side, uh, it actually does a pretty good job pushing that stuff out. But the like any kind of laser, it's always better to have the um, an inline fan closer to where it's going out at. See, let it pull it instead of trying to push it. But it hadn't got stinky in here since I've been running this thing, so I guess it's okay. John Thompson's says purchase the Anycubic Cobra Max 3 and the Ace Pro Plus. Bought 8 rolls of Tech Bears Pet G. It's working great. Good
Good
deal.
deal.
Good deal. Kenneth's been under the weather, he says.
I feel better, Kenneth. Yeah, it's coming up quick. Christmas
Yes,
is.
it is.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, Paul. Big Al says Thingiverse has got some push downs
Yep. I'll have
you can
to
use.
I'll have to investigate that.
Yeah, with that with that thinner stuff, Dave, you should try. You should look at True Flat.
To look at what?
True Flat. It's like a MDF core with a veneer on the outside. Steve and Dave Clackley use it a lot,
Oh, okay.
but it's supposed to laser really nice and it's flat according to the name.
Yeah, Jerry says I hear golf tees work. Um, I haven't tried golf tees either. I did make some. I don't know, little L-shaped things that I used to use in the honeycomb bed of my own tech, and they worked great. Uh, they did stick up a little more than these black push button things. But when I sold the Home Tech, I think I gave the guy, I had like a little wooden box that I sitting on the side of the laser that I threw all those in. I think I just gave him all of them. So I'd have to make some more. But
Huh.
I don't know how well they'd work with this or not. Like I said, I really think if those slats were steel, I think that would solve a lot of problems. But they they're aluminum.
Yeah, when I'm running the Monport and something's bowed, I usually end up putting NEMA 17 motors on it. Old Ender 3s.
Would you say you're putting NEMA 17 motors on it?
Yeah, I lay them on there.
Well,
I
they're
run,
pretty heavy, I guess, for something like
yeah,
that. I
I
guess
run
that
it
would
around
work.
to make sure that it's not going to hit them, and I go, here you go. So how close to the material does that thing stick? Does the little shield come down?
Well, let me
Yeah, I saw your little spacer thing that you had there,
let me
but
do this real quick. So yeah, it came with this little spacer thing, and when you're running, it's like a three-step thing. It says engraved cutting thickness of basswood 1 to 3 millimeters, which that's the thickest. So when you put it on there, you're going to have a gap of 278.278. And right now, this middle one says cutting thickness of basswood 4 to 6 millimeter. Well, I'm kind of in that range. So now it's even closer. So it's almost point 0.2, not quite point 0.2. And then this bottom step is if you're cutting something thicker than 6 millimeter, and then you'd be really close. You'd be
yeah,
less than an eighth inch above. So you don't really have a lot of room to, uh, that thing's pretty close.
yeah.
I wish they'd have done like the one on the Jimitsu where you can flip it up.
Oh, the little shield.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because you can't even take that shield off. It's part of the whole
yeah,
casing.
and plus it's got that whole red enclosure thing going on. So
Yep.
I don't know.
I
Like I
know
said,
they
it's
didn't
it's
ask
a good
me.
little laser though. I'm
Oh, it is.
it I don't try to cut any of the like 3/8 thick plywood or anything like that. 6 millimeter or quarter inch is about as thick as I'm going to cut anything. So as long as it'll do that, and it really doesn't cut it much slower. Let's see what we'll do some mathematics here and see what 350 Yeah, that's not quite 14 inches a minute. So I think on the Tech, I used to cut stuff at 10 inches a minute, if I remember right, at 30% power. So probably could have cut it a lot faster if I upped the power, but I thought I was going to keep that laser a long time and wanted that tube to last. And
Huh.
then I sell it to a guy and he gets a laser that's 3 years old that has, how many hours did I say that thing had on it? 70 hours or 50 hours or something like that. 55, I think it was. So I need to check with that guy and see how he's getting along with it. I'm hoping this is going to be okay. I won't know until he cuts all of it out. But because I did have to scale it down slightly, that's going to make the little webbing of the, I don't know what you call it, the skeleton or what, but it's the part that's where the black lines are. You paint it black. Um, it's going to make that a little bit thinner.
So after having a CO2 laser, what do you think of going to the blue diode laser?
Um, well, I think, like I said, for me personally, I think it's fine. Now, I'm not, trying to make money with it.
Right.
I'm just playing around making stuff for myself, but it's hard to beat a CO2. I think. And
Yeah.
and another thing, it's not really a con, I would say, but the enclosure is nice. It was a pain in the butt. If you watch my video when I unboxed and assembled this, those red sheets are just like little plastic stuff, and I had trouble getting it. You need about 5 hands, I think, to put it together really good. And I kept having trouble where I'd get one end in, the other end would pop up, and I mentioned that in my video. But once you finally get it together, you saw how it rolls up, like old roll top desk or something. It it's kind of nice, but on the other hand, you think about the Tech 80-watt laser. You raise that big old door open and can get down in the thing and don't have to work. Here you got to kind of make sure you've got the gantry pushed to the back and be able to finagle the piece in there. And because of the design of that red enclosure part, it only rolls back halfway. The other part stays on there. So, it makes it a little more challenging to get big pieces in and out of there. That's why if you noticed, I had my origin position set back to the top left, just so it would be out of the way when it finished. It says, according to Lightburn here, it's been running almost 17 minutes. So it's got about a minute and a half to go. I'm obviously not going to have time to do any painting or anything like that during this show, but we'll get this thing cut and get it all painted and glued up and show it to you next week, I guess. I think, are we going to do a show next week? What do y'all, all you folks out there in the chat, what do you think? Should we do one? It'll be Christmas Eve, or yeah, Christmas Eve if we do one next week. So,
You could always do it on Tuesday if you don't want to do it on Wednesday.
As far as I know, I'll be free. That could change, but as far as I know, I'll be free.
yeah, Mr. Brown's in the house.
So is Klondike out there.
Oh, it's
Jerry says that we should be smashing the like button.
Jerry says go live and they will come.
okay. Yeah, Harry made a good point. They're just, they're just totally different animals. You can some of the same things you can do, but Jerry says keep looking at the MOPA from X Tools. Small, but lots of stuff it can do. Yeah.
You know what though, Dave? I mean, it's not your 80-watt ohm tech, but if sometimes you don't need um, like a Hemi Challenger to go to the grocery store.
Exactly. And one thing that I really like is, well, I can kind of back this thing off, I guess, and show you since it's finished. I'm letting it run a little bit, try to make sure it gets all the smoke out. Okay, now this is what I was talking about. When you open this, although this works smoothly, right there's as far as it goes. So it's basically you've got half of it open. And I didn't show it. I have played around with it a little bit, but there's a camera mounted right here in the center too. So there's a look at Mr. Grinch. I think it looks like everything cut through without any problem. And you can see what I was talking about. I'm not trying to save material. I just went in and put him right in the middle so that I wouldn't have to worry about it hitting these things, although I don't think it'll hit them anyway. They're so low profile. That's one nice thing about using this this honeycomb bed is when you're cutting this kind of stuff and you got all these little pieces that may drop through. Of course, it's got the drawer under here that'll catch you little teeny pieces. But you can just, since I'm cutting stuff like this, I can just pick the whole honeycomb bed up, take it in there where I'm going to paint it at.
Yeah.
So. All right, well, I guess I'll cut this fan off so it'll be quiet. See any smoke or flames or anything. But yeah, this isn't a bad little deal. That's why I wanted to put the link in the thing in case anybody, like I said, these, I guess they still list for $12.99, but they got them on Amazon right now for $7.99, that's a pretty sweet little laser for that price, I think. All right, we can, let's see if I can, we'll just remove this. There we go.
That's just me.
Here we go.
Check and see if I was napping or something.
Yeah, we're gonna check on you. But yeah, you can see if I can get them both held up here. I'll put the Grinch behind Frosty, and you can see he's a little bit taller. So I did have to scale him down because I had him stretched out where he would take up just about all of that 19-inch blank. But since it'll only cut about 16, 415 millimeters, I had to scale him down a little bit. But I think all those pieces will just worry about and when I say the skeleton part, what I'm talking about is when you look at this, you can see like where all the black lines are, where his hand and all this on the out, there's black on the outside. I don't know how well you can see it. Maybe you can't even see it
Yeah.
Oh
around
yeah.
his hat and
Yep.
all that. That's that's going to be about point 0.2 high by whatever that thickness is. You know, it's not much. So, but that's what makes the frame that you glue onto the backer to start with, and then you paint all your pieces and put it together like a puzzle. So, but I think they're cool looking. They really,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They are.
It turned out really good.
they always look like somebody's really good at painting, and I suck at painting.
Yeah, it does.
But I like making those because as long as you don't lose any of the pieces or anything like that, and you keep track of which piece gets painted what color and which side. There's a couple of them on some of the small pieces. You paint them like I'll go, okay, well, that's a red piece. So I paint it red. And then when it comes time to glue it in, I realize I painted the wrong side because,
Ah,
you go to put it in, it won't quite go in the way you have it turned. But if you turn it over, it'll drop right in. So, but
Ken
yeah,
says sometimes he runs painter tape over cutting it to keep the pieces from getting lost.
yeah, I'm not that smart, really. I just have to find them. And of
Yeah.
course, if you get ready to you get it all painted and start gluing everything in, and you realize you're missing a little tiny piece, you don't have to go back and cut the whole thing. You just go find what piece you're missing. For example, um, I'll show you one that I'm probably going to end up. Let's see if I can do this. Oops. Okay, you can see my Grinch.
Yep.
Okay, well, if I scroll in, see this little tiny piece right here that's in his hat?
Yep.
It may end up getting lost.
I've got a pair of real thin hemostats that I use to dig down in underneath that honeycomb if a piece drops down in there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, as long when you're going to put it together and you get down to one or two pieces that you can't find,
Yep.
if you know right where they're at because you don't have a piece to go in there, so all you got to do is grab that and put it on a little piece of drop, and you can cut just that piece if you want. Or
Mhm.
another little secret I've found: when you cut the backer board like this, you paint it black.
You have nothing up on the screen, Dave.
no, you can't. I don't know
You
what
got the
we
wrong scene up there, the wrong view.
Oh, you couldn't see me? I was seeing me.
Nope. Nope.
There you go. Well, now we're back.
You don't see me? Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh,
it was the other screen, the other camera or something.
The
oh,
one
okay.
that you had
Okay.
taken offline. That was.
Okay. Well, anyway, okay. So this is the backer board. So if you spray paint this, or you don't have to spray paint it, but I usually spray it because it's quicker to spray it. So you spray paint this black. So behind this thing, it's not on this side. I only spray one side, but the backer board for this one is black. Now this piece that goes right here,
Mm-hmm.
when I hold that up, can you tell me is that piece in there or is it empty?
Can't tell.
You can't tell because the back side's painted black. So even if you miss a piece, as long as it's a black piece, you can leave it out and not worry about recutting it. That's the only piece I didn't find, and I thought, well, since it's a black piece, you can't tell it's not there anyway
Yeah.
because it's so thin. So I didn't even bother trying to redo it. All righty.
Don't
Well,
pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Right.
and of course, when you're doing these, on light burn, you're just looking at lines. There's no color. So I had a picture of it on my phone, and as I was sitting at my kitchen counter, after I'd got done painting and I was gluing this up, I would open up that picture and then zoom in onto the part so I could, because so many of these pieces, when you cut them, they look about the same shape and all that. Sometimes it's hard to figure out. You definitely don't want to put no glue on them until you test fit them. Make sure they gonna go on there. But this thing turned out pretty good. I hope Mr. Grinch turns out good as well. All right. Anybody got any questions, comments, criticisms, any of that stuff?
Just love and affection.
Yeah, there's Mr. Klondike. How you doing, Sean? The old train guy. Roger Brown says he'll be here. All right, well, we'll do one. Me and you be here, Roger, if nobody else is. I'll show you whether you'll get to find out whether the Grinch turned out or not. So, yeah, Sean says go for it. All righty. Kenneth says it'll depend on whether Paul gets his video done or not.
I'll have it done.
Yeah.
I've got my voiceover right here. All I got to do is.
Oh, you done scripted it out.
I had to. Otherwise, I'm too busy going. And
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Well, I do that too, except I don't write it on a pad. I use the notepad.
oh, okay.
I type it out, and then I have, of course, my mic's right. Well, you can't see it. Yeah, it's right here. So I'm basically looking at that. I have three screens, so I'm looking at my left one that I usually have my email open on, and that's where I'll put my script in so I can read it instead of, because I can't talk on the fly. Too many uh uh
Mhm.
too many of those.
it's okay. That's what my videos all are. I tried to do it with the script before and I can't do it. I screw it up so bad. I'm like, forget it. I'm just
Oh,
gonna.
well, I'm not saying I get it on the first take, even with a script. Half
Oh,
the time I screw that up too. Mispronounce words and crazy stuff. Jerry says chips are pulled out the OMTech after almost 2 years. The American photonic lens was dirty, but it looked like it's going perfectly again. I will definitely look at a few types of toys after I get a house. All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Al, that's what editing is all about.
Yeah. I really, just like when I sold the Abbott, I wasn't sure if I was going to miss that OMTech or not, but I really don't. And I really enjoy the space I have now out there in the garage. Got room to park my old Ruby in the garage now.
more room for activities.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll get out of here. I'm just looking through the. Yeah, Jerry. He says? What's next? Paint. And well, first thing I got to do is try to make sure I got most of the pieces. I probably, no doubt, I'll lose some, but I got to be careful when I pull that out of there. I forgot to put. I have one of those stainless steel thin pieces of material that I forgot to stick under the honeycomb, because if I'd done that, that way I could pick it up, and if it dropped through the honeycomb, it wouldn't go all the way through. So I may still lose some pieces, but they should end up in that drawer unless they fall out between me taking it from here into the kitchen where I set them on the counter to paint them. Um, but we'll just see. It's no big. It's not that big a deal to me, because if you know you're missing some, don't worry about trying to figure out which one it is. Just wait until you're gluing them all in, and then you see what you don't have, and then you can come and to light burn and grab just the pieces and just cut two or three little pieces and be done with it. So, and a lot of times I when I used to have the Ohm Tech, because it would drop through and you had to open that thing and reach in there, and you didn't know what all was in there. If I needed a little piece, when I'd go recut it, I'd cut like a dozen of them,
Yeah.
figuring I'll at least find one. So that's what I've done there. But anyway, all right. Well, I guess yeah, I'm not going to try to sell anything that's copyrighted. You might be able to sell them easy, but not me. Some people do.
They'll
No.
fire pit real easy though.
The what?
They'll fire pit real easy.
Oh yeah, yeah, they will. Yeah. Well, the only reason I'm making these two again is because I gave Barbara my other two. She's a Christmas nut, and I'm trying to get in the spirit this year. I'm trying to do better than what I usually do, but anyway. All right, Paul, you got any parting words?
I promise I'll get my video up.
Okay. Well, we got you on tape of saying that.
Yeah. Yep.
So, all righty.
Get your
Ryan,
get your entries into the Ranger CNC Christmas Challenge.
yeah, Ryan, you might as well go ahead and plug that thing before we get out of here, just so anybody that straggles along might see it.
Oh yeah, so the Ranger CNC Christmas Challenge. Any of the something Christmas related, and it has to be an original design, and make a project on it, and shoot a quick video, 5-10 minutes, nothing crazy, and video quality is not being the main part of the thing. It's the project itself, and then
And it has to be illuminated.
yes, and there has to be some sort of illumination element to it. So it pretty simple, but all the rules and everything are on rballarddesigns.com. And entries will be accepted between now and 11:59 next Wednesday night. So you got a week.
All right. All righty. Well, I guess we'll try to maybe do a show next week. Like I said, it'd be Christmas Eve, but we'll keep it short and sweet. We'll come on here and um, I'll let you know how the Grinch turns out, and maybe I'll have a Santa Claus by then too. I've been thinking about it. I need to do a.
And if I would have known that we were supposed to wear flannel today, it would have been helpful to know.
You're not old. You're not old enough to wear flannel.
Yeah, when you get
That's for
get
old
like me
people.
and Paul and you're on blood thinners and stuff, you don't have no blood.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. It gets below 50 and I'm cold.
Yeah, I would have had to have gone out and bought some.
I've been wearing mine pretty regular. We've had it's in fact we had 2 nights. I don't it got pretty close last night, but previous 2 nights it got down below freezing where they were telling us to turn our faucet, have your faucets dripping. So
Yeah.
I always have my faucets dripping because water's cheaper than a plumbing bill.
Yeah, sure
So,
is.
but I think it only got down to about 31 or something last night. So not too bad. But anyway, all right. Well, let me get the outro queued up here and we'll get ready to say goodnight. I appreciate folks hanging around tonight, doing something a little different. Um,
Yes, good times.
maybe I'll
Yeah.
start doing some different projects with because I used to do the thing out in the shop with the Home Tech where I would whatever season it was, I was making something for that season, Halloween and Christmas and New Year and all that kind of stuff. But I guess I could do that with this one as well. So, all right, well, we're gonna get out of here. Good night, everybody, and we will see y'all next week.
See y'all.
See ya.